Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you some cam tools because I'm always getting asked questions about these. I have done a video on one of these a long time ago, but today's video is about how to make great replays, and that is replays like this. The tools I'm showing you today will mean you can use your creative spark with them to create these fantastic results. But wait there a minute, we need a car. So today we're going to be using this, and that is the Ferrari 488 GT Evo Street, and this is by FX with sound effects by Exotic Sounds. So this has been upgraded a lot, as you can see, 730 brake horsepower. It's got a Novatech tuning kit on it, forged wheels, Challenge Evo body kit. It sounds and looks fantastic. The interior is great too. This is using the Kunos 3D model, and this will be just right for us today on the Neuschleifer. Okay then, the first install we're going to do is add-on drone. So I've downloaded it from Race Department. All the links are in the descriptions. You download and you extract, and you end up with this folder on your desktop. I'm then going to open the main root directory of Assetto Corsa, and as you can see here, Steam Apps, Common and Assetto Corsa, and that's the root directory. Always worth having a shortcut on your desktop if you're doing lots of mods. This mod is by Tasuka1427, so a big shout out to them, and the install process is pretty easy. So we need to get apps and content from the add-on drone cam into the root directory. So we're just going to copy and paste them into that root directory. Because we've not got this installed already, it's not going to overwrite anything, and there you go. The two blue bars that you can see over those two folders show us that that's actually gone in okay. Now we do need to switch it on in Assetto Corsa, and to do this we're going to go into Content Manager. So opening Content Manager up on the main drive page here, we're going to go into Settings. You can see I'm in custom shader patch at the moment, but we're actually going to go into Assetto Corsa, and then we're going to click on apps at the top. Any app that you install, it doesn't matter if it's installed, it won't run unless you've ticked the box in here. Also, make sure you click on the enable Python apps at the top if that's not enabled, and then we just need to find the drone cam in here. So as you can see, it's right over on this right hand side, and we're just going to put a little tick in the box for that. Once you have ticked the box, I would definitely restart Content Manager and then double check that it's still ticked, just to make sure that nothing strange is going on. Now the next thing we're going to install is Stereo Box Cam. And again, the link is in the description, and this is of course by Stereo. Once you have downloaded it, extracted it, I would put it on your desktop, and if you open those files up, you'll see there's a readme file here that goes through lots of information of how to use Boxcam. Now I'm not going to go that much in depth today on either of these two systems. I'm just going to show you how to install them, how to run them, and the basic operation of them. So to install the Stereo Boxcam, we need to go into Assetto Corsa root directory, apps and Python, and you will see here a folder I've already installed. So it says Stereo Boxcam, and these files on the right need to go into that file on the left. Now I don't need to do it because I've already copied them over, but that's the installation process. You can extract or 7-zip those files straight into your root directory, but you need to check that's how it should look. And then obviously once you've done that, you need to switch it on in your app section, exactly the same as we did with the drone add-on. Okay then, so what do these two do and how do they operate? So I'm going to go onto the right hand bar. I'm in the drive menu, I've come out of the car, and on the right hand bar I'm going to go to the top, and it says all apps. This gives you access to every app that's actually running on Assetto Corsa. Now we can see we've got drone camera at the top and drone settings. We can also see that we've got Stereo Boxcam. So I'm going to show you each one of these, and the first one I'm going to show you is Stereo Boxcam. So I've just clicked on it, and you can see at the top left hand corner now we've got some settings, and I will show you how these work in a moment. But just on the camera settings, you've got box cam, you've got track cams, you've got spline cam, and you've got chase cams. All of those do different things, and this is what makes Boxcam really cool and flexible. Now to activate it, you need to click on the activate button, and we are ready to go. Now I've clicked on Boxcam to begin with, and if you imagine a piece of string tied to the back of the car and a balloon behind it, we are controlling that balloon. So unlike a chase cam that is actually static, This one you can move around using your mouse buttons and the cursor keys, so it gives you a lot of flexibility, and as you can see I can make all sorts of weird and wonderful angles. Now the car is stationary at the moment, but you imagine doing this while the car is moving, and some of the footage you saw right at the beginning of this video is done by box cam. We've also got track cams, which uses a number of different track cams that are on the track. We've got spline cam, which is again a very cool camera that actually follows the spline of the track, and then you've got a standard chase cam. There's also lots of settings on the right hand side, so I would absolutely read the instructions with this, but it's a very cool and easy to use app that you can get better replays with right out of the box. And even though the app has been out for a number of years, it still seems to work absolutely fine, and I'm using the latest version of CSP Preview. Okay, we're going to switch box cam off, and now we're going to put on the drone add-on that we installed first. So we're going to go to the right hand bar again, all apps, and we're going to click on drone camera. Now you can see there's also a camera settings piece there, so if we bring both of these up, the camera setting piece has a number of options on there that you can change. Now there is a prerequisite for this, and that is that this uses an Xbox controller to actually control the drone with. I have been using an Xbox One controller and it works absolutely fine, and I know they're not expensive nowadays, but don't worry, if you want to use a standard joystick or some other kind of PC gamepad, there is emulation software, and I'll put a link to that as well. It's also on the main download page that you will download this from, and again all the links are in the description. Those settings all help set up your controller or your Xbox controller, but aren't necessary to use this straight again out the box. Now you'll see at the top it says drone camera disabled. What we need to do with the Xbox controller plugged into the PC or on Bluetooth is press the button with the 3 lines. It's one of the middle menu buttons, and as soon as we do that you'll see it says drone camera enabled, and then we are basically flying a drone around the car. But it does some really cool things, so you can see that all of the buttons and the joysticks are actually annotated in those settings at the top left hand corner, and you can see that they all do different things. So not only do you have up and down, you have roll left and right, you have move and rotate, you've got follow car, you've got heading lock, you've also got heading mode, you've got altitude lock, stabilize, and also an FOV setting. On the right hand side you've got follow target, and you can see that's locked. So the great thing about this is that any car on a replay, you can fly your drone over to it while the replay is paused, press the Y button, it will lock onto the nearest car, and then the drone will actually follow that car even if you take your fingers off the joystick. Then you can actually move yourself around with the car at the center of your orbit. It's really cool stuff. The other great thing with this is, as you can see, I'm going up and down, so you can get some great aerial shots, and this is one of the limitations with the standard Assetto Corsa free look cameras. You're always having to drive them around with the cursor keys or the keys you've assigned for it. This actually follows the car even in an aerial view. It's really good stuff. Of course you can rotate around the car, and as you can see the car is staying central to what I am doing. So the great thing is with these two tools you're only really limited by your imagination of shots you're trying to create, and of course then you've got all the different PP filters on top of that. But wait there a minute, I'm going to show you something else. So I've talked about walkabout mode before, and again people have asked me questions about this. So if you go into Assetto Corsa, your root directory, and go into extension, then into config, if you scroll right to the bottom you'll see there is something called walking out. Now it looks like a configuration file with a little cog on it. If you right click on it, open with notepad, and this is safe to do by the way guys, so don't worry about this, you will see it's got all sorts of information there, but also halfway down you can see where it says basic, and underneath that enabled equals 0. So what we are going to switch on is first person walkabout mode in Assetto Corsa. You can see there's a little bit of blurb there from Ilya about how this works. You can even change some of the settings below it, but what we're going to do is just change enabled equals 1. Click on file, click on save. Now keep that notepad up because we're going to change this back at the end of the video. So for this mode to work you need to be in track day or practice. So I'm in track day and I've put a number of these Ferraris on the grid. And wait there a minute, I've stood out the car, and how did I do that? Well, I pressed and held the E button. So if you walk up to a driver's door and press and hold the E button, it will take you back into that car, and you can actually swap cars. You can run, you can jump, and you can walk around. So this is like playing a first-person shooter. So if I wander over to this BMW in front of the door and press and hold the E button, I will get into the car. Now, if the car has an animated door, it will actually open the door. Whoops, that is terrible driving. It will actually open the door, and you can actually see that happening. It's really cool stuff. Now, this is very experimental, of course. It came out a number of CSP versions ago. But why am I showing it you? Well, you can place cars around a track, and then you can make your replays more interesting. That's it. It's just another really cool tool. So let's take a look at the replay I put together with all of these different tools today. That was just a quick example, guys, to show you how it all works. Now, before you do anything, make sure that you put enabled equals 0 on walkabout mode if you've not done it already. We don't want CSP crashing on you or doing strange things. So I hope that's helped you today. That's 3 different tools that you can use on Assetto Corsa to do some great cool things. As ever, thank you for all your support, and I'll see you guys very soon.